I remember when my friends, my riding buddies, talked about going trail building, I was like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. All right, this is my puppers, Jubers. Say hello, Jubers. Welcome to this segment about trail building, and this is about the reasons why trail building will make you happy. But I wanted to back it up a little bit and just talk about, why would you want to trail build at all? We have a finite amount of free time in our life, and, I love riding my bike. I think about riding my bike all the time. Why would I want to stop doing that and do something that, to be perfectly honest, sounds kind of weird, and I didn't really like it the first few times. It took me a while to get into it, but once I cracked the code, once I got into the juice of trail building, I fucking love it. I love it so much that I'm doing a video series about it when I'd, to be perfectly honest, much rather be trail building. So when I was putting this list together, I started piecing, these factors that led to my happiness while trail building. And it's interesting because I lead, a fairly decent sized team, around 20 people. And one of the things that I've gotten into at work recently is psychological health. Now, I'm not an expert, and I'm, basically just getting started. But one of the key things were these psychosocial factors to happiness, in this case at work. But I started going through this list and, thinking of all the reasons why, trail building works. I hadn't really asked myself about that until I was putting together this video. And it was a really nice discovery for me, because I realized, holy shit, this isn't just like, oh, I like to get outside and it feels good, but there was actually like some, psychological reasons, real reasons, as to why trail building feels so good. It's one of the reasons why I think trail building might actually make you feel better than mountain biking. And I think that's debatable. I'm not sure I've had as many highs as I have riding. I mean, there are some times where, and those who know me, I get pretty excited when I'm having a good ride, and sometimes I feel like my brain is on fire. It's such a good feeling. I hope you know exactly what I'm talking about. So without further ado, here are the reasons why I believe that trail building can actually make you happier than riding your bike. First one is creative control. And that is a super powerful emotion for people, to believe that they have autonomy over the decisions that they're making. And that is really what trail building is. You are basically trying to go from one spot to the next, and there are an infinite number of possibilities. And there are multiple different ways of building that trail, with using different materials and going in different directions, and making it different flavor, whether you want to go old school tech or you want to go new school flow. There are really so many different possibilities, and you being able to, have control over all of those decisions is a wonderful feeling. So creative control is a really powerful thing. That is one of the things that will make you happy while trail building. Another reason why trail building feels so good is the recognition. Some people, not everybody even notices that you've done anything, but some people will notice and they will thank you, and they will say, hey, good job, I loved riding that feature, or I loved riding that trail, or I love how it all connects. Thank you so much for doing it. And recognition, again, a very powerful psychosocial factor to your happiness. And in trail building, you get it, as long as you are doing a good job. And I think that's worth mentioning. You won't get recognition de facto by trail building. You will get recognition for being a good trail builder, for being a sustainable and mindful, creative trail builder. Recognition does come with a bit of a caveat there. All right, the next factor, for me, this is the juice. This is why I trail build, and that is creativity. It's different than creative control, because creativity is basically allowing your imagination to run wild. It's really one of the best parts about building trail is, basically coming up with a plan, a vision of what it is that you want to do to that landscape, and to transform it into that vision. You're hearkening back to the days when you'd be in the sandbox or at the beach and you'd have your Tonka toys or your sand shovel and you'd be sculpting sand castles or whatever. You'd be building stuff and you'd have your little model cars and you'd be driving them through, and it's, it's all this, thing that's happening in your imagination. And, really that's trail building. When you think about it, trail building is literally building giant sand castles, except for now you're an adult, you have the strength and the intelligence to do it in a really meaningful way. And something about that just clicks for me. I think it clicks for a lot of people, and that's why I think creativity is a really powerful key to happiness while trail building. This one is inescapable in trail building. That is exercise. Exercise, of course, I'm sure you've read many, many times in your life, releases endorphins. Endorphins make you feel good. Trail building is 100% exercise once you get into it. It is exhausting. It is painful. It is filthy. I mean, if you're doing it right, it is absolutely filthy. And that is glorious. All of those things, I find are just really fulfilling for trail building. And it's something that you just, you can't get in a lot of other places in your life. And it's kind of like you're draining your cup of like, blood and sweat and tears, but then you're filling it up with this just like satisfaction. And it's wonderful. So yeah, exercise, really key, a key feature here in trail building and key to happiness. And one of the reasons why I think trail building makes people happy. Building with people is super fun. It's one of the reasons why I do it. I love my building buddies. I'm a firm believer that relationships are built upon shared experience, and a shared experience is amplified when you're going through more and more things. And trail building, it's dangerous, right? Like if you're in there felling trees, or moving rocks, and you have people in the environment, it can be kind of a dangerous thing, and that doing things like that builds a bond. Exerting together, working hard, accomplishing things, again, I believe that's a really powerful shared experience that builds friendships. And I do a lot of trail building on my own, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I just like to go off into the woods. Sometimes you can't make schedules line up for community building, but it should be no surprise to hear that also friendships are a very important part of humanity. It's key to our happiness. And so yeah, another one, trail building, making you happy. One of the key benefits, I think, to mountain biking and to trail building is this: it's getting outside. Holy smokes, getting outside every day just makes me happier. They have this, I'm sure you've heard of these things called forest baths, which is, going for a walk or a bike or whatever it is that you might be doing outside. It makes people happy. And it's definitely one of the keys to happiness in trail building. I just love with trail building that I'm able to, come out. I'm sitting on the ground right now. It's just like, oh man, it's getting out and being in nature and experiencing it in a very tangible way as opposed to viewing it through a window. I work indoors, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. You need to get outside. Trail building allows you to do that. Yeah. Another psychosocial factor that leads to people's happiness, I'm sure you've heard it, that it feels better to give than to receive. When you're out trail building, you're giving back. You are, volunteering. You're putting in your own personal time. Again, a very finite resource in our lives these days. We're all super, super busy. And to choose trail building and to be going out there and, basically making a better bike experience for you and for everybody else, it feels good. It feels good knowing that, something you have done has led to other people's happiness as well as your own. So yeah, that charitable aspect, that volunteer aspect of trail building, again, another reason why it makes you feel good. All right, I left this to the end, perhaps because it's the most obvious, but I actually almost overlooked it, and that is more excellent trail. You know, that is, you know, one of the greatest things about trail building, and it's really why we're all out here doing it, is that, you know, at the end of the day, whatever it is you've done is now an improvement on what was there before. And, you know, more trail, just knowing that you've, you know, contributed to that, and you've built more trail is going to make anybody feel good. You know, just as a rider, knowing that there's a new trail makes you feel good, but knowing that you were the person who built it, oh my God, such a great feeling. Really, you know, can carry you for days and weeks as that trail becomes, you know, part of your trail system. Yeah, it's great. It feels, I mean, fuck, that is the best feeling. You know, don't get me wrong, I fucking love riding my bike. Like, it is the bee's knees. But, you know, building a trail and then having that whole, you know, new trail experience roll through people's lives and hear about it, oh my God, it is, you know, that is the reason why we're out here doing it. So those are the psychosocial, to, you know, speak like a nerd, reasons why I believe trail building makes you happy. I would love to know if you either agree or disagree, or if you have anything else. I'm not saying that this is exhaustive. Would love to know your thoughts. And I would also love to know whether you think the biking is better than the building, or is the building better than the biking? Thanks for watching. Thanks for making it all the way to this part. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if not, I'm sorry for wasting your time. And I have a shit ton more content on my channel and more coming. So please feel free to check back in or share it for other people that you know who are trail builders that might enjoy it. Thanks.